Hi everybody, this is Diane, and I'm here with a Scrapistry episode. I'm going to be using scraps of patterned cardstock and scraps of coffee dyed paper, the cut off pieces, and scraps of vellum even. So I have two different projects that I want to show you. I'm hoping I'll be able to get to both of them in one video. This is just a journaling card with a window in it with some vellum in the window, and you can write on the back of it. And then this one is a little matchbook tag, and I would like to show you how to make both of those. Now this one requires sewing, but I didn't want to be over at my sewing machine for all of this, so I don't know if it's going to work, but I brought my machine over as far as I can. Let me move this stuff out of the way. It's plugged in on the other side of my table. So we'll see what we can do. So let's try to do that part first and get that out of the way. So that's this. That is our little window journaling tag, vellum window journaling tag. So I have pieces cut. I just have to find them. So someone sent me in a Happy Mail a tag similar to this, a card similar to this, and I used it in a journal that I made. But before I sent it out, I made one so that I wouldn't forget about it, because I would have forgotten, but I wanted to use this idea. So I'm not taking credit for this. And also, you can use any shape you want to for your punch. You can punch more than one hole if you want to. So this is the one I made when I used the first one that I had received in a Happy Mail, and then this is the one I made just today, just to make sure I remembered how to do it. And in fact, I didn't, because I glued the wrong side of the scrapbook paper, and so it's not the plain coffee dyed, but it's light enough that it can still be written on. So what I did was, these measure 3 by 6. You can make them any size you want to. So I cut my scraps that I pulled out of my box at 3 by 6, and then I had some smaller pieces that got cut off of the ends of these, so I just cut some more coffee dyed paper scraps that I'm just going to sew on the backs of these and make them into journaling cards. But I won't do that in this video. That's just something super easy. I didn't want to deal with more scraps. I thought, let's just use them. So that's what I did. These are the scraps of coffee dyed paper. Alright, so let's take this one, because I think that one's really cool. I've got my backing paper already cut. I even have a couple pieces that were from a notebook. They'll work. But I'm just going to take this plain one. I think this is a Stampin' Up! Paper. So I am going to line them up and take my 1 3/8 inch circle punch and just punch a hole. I wouldn't want it right in the center. I want it off center. And if you want it down further, you don't have to do it from the top. So where do I want it? I think I want it over here. Make sure it's all lined up good. You could adhere it partly, but I wanted to show you something else before I do that. So now there's a hole. And I have scraps, small pieces of vellum. I have this grid that I think might work well with the numbers. So all I have to do is cut a piece that will not be wider than the tag, and that will fill in the circle. Otherwise it doesn't really matter. So I just cut that, and I will end up with a tag like this. So what I wanted to say was, you could glue all around this and glue this in, and then you can glue this down so everything's all glued. Or if you want to sew, it's hard to sew around a circle, so I just do messy stitching and go around twice. This one looks like I went around 3 times. But yeah, do it messy on purpose so that you're not trying to do a circle perfectly. And for this one, I think I do want it to be sewn because it's going to be like a grungy look. So what I can do is, to make sure the pieces stay in place, is just put a little bit of tape in a section that's not going to have any stitching. So there's some tape way down here. And then again on the tag, put some tape where you're not going to stitch. And I'm going to sew around the circle first. So let's see if this will work. I don't think you'll be able to see it very good, and I'm in an awkward position, which is going to make the messy stitching even messier, but we're going to go for it. Okay, so I made it once around. Okay, so there's that. And this time I did put the coffee dye on the facing out. And now I'm just going to sew around the edge. And then I'm going to do one glued. And then we'll move on to the other project. I don't think you can't see a darn thing, can you? Okay, well that's all the sewing I'll do in this video. But this is our finished tag. I could have used black thread, that would have made it look more grungy. But there we have it. I'll get this out of the way. And sorry about that, I had to move the cord. It was kind of wrapped around the tripod. Let's try one with glue. Let's do this one. This is a funky one. This was a scrap that I had of paper I had used for a little boy's smash book years ago. It's a really cute paper. So I could use this side or this side, but I think I want to use this side today. So, yeah, I'm going to glue these. I don't want to punch out the cute little vehicles, so I'm just going to punch where there aren't any. And what kind of vellum do I want to use? Let's look at some of my little pieces here. How about this green one? That's cute. Let's do that. So I'm not sure about the tacky glue with vellum. It'd probably work, but I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac. And then just glue. It tore in the corner. The paper cutter tore it in the corner there, but it's fine. These are just rustic little tags. I want it to be glued all the way around this hole so that there's no opening there. So I put the glue around there. You could, if you wanted to, just glue around the hole so you don't have to sew around it, and then sew around the edges. That would work too. I think I ended up sewing around the circle on the first one that I made because I wasn't thinking about the fact that there would be an opening here. So that's what it looks like with just glue. Take my sweater off, it's getting warm in here. So like I said, if I want to, after the glue dries, I can sew around the edge, and I might because it looks like I didn't get all the way to the edge like I should have. So I've got this one, a couple of thimble ones. Won't they be cute in a sewing journal or a domestic arts journal? And I have this one. Boy, I can't even talk today. I think I'll still use that side of it because I have the scraps that I want. I'll make journaling cards out of that. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more to make. Oh, 5, 6 more to make. But I'll do them off camera. I just wanted to show you this little journaling card. Just something a little different to use up scraps. And then I'll have more journaling cards with these little scraps. Now, on to the tag. I made this little tag with my Cricut, and I don't remember what cartridge it was. And it's just this cute little tag, and I could have made it bigger, but I don't remember what I was doing. I'm probably making Smashbooks and just going through my cartridges and making stuff. So this is all it is. It's just a strip of paper, cardstock, that's folded and then down and made into a tag. So I figured we could do that. So I made this one, and I didn't put a string in it yet, but again, it's that truck paper, and of course it's upside down. So I'm trying to go with images that aren't right side up or upside down, but it is really cute. And then you can put a piece of paper in there, glue a piece of paper down in here so that you can write on. Or if you wanted to, you could take strips of scraps of paper and fold them in half and sew them in here and have a little matchbook, you know, with pages in it. That would be cute too. But for now, let's just make the matchbook section, the tag section. So I have some pieces cut into varying sizes. This one is 3 inches, and I made this one just now, and this one is 3.5 inches. Let's try a different one. I think this one is 3 inches. And I believe this one is 12 inches long. This one is not. So it doesn't really matter. Whatever strip of paper you have, make it work with that size. You can use a scoreboard if you want to. I think I will, since this one is thicker. Not real thick, but it's cardstock. So what I want to do is this one is folded at the 4 3/4 mark. So let's do that with this one. This is a 12-inch piece. 4 3/4. See, this one I didn't measure. I just folded it, just eyeballed it because it's kind of thin. And then I want to fold this down so that it will overlap this, but not all the way down. There's a space. Where's that other one? See, it's not folded all the way up. So let's leave that much room. It's about 3/4 of an inch. That flap is kind of long. It doesn't have to be that long. So I could have left a little more space. But you do want there to be enough of a overlap that this will stay in there when you tuck it in. So then I take this and cut it at an angle to make it a tag shape. And you don't have to do that either. You can leave it square, you can round the corners. Now, how do we get this fun little thing that was cut out with the Cricut? make sure. I think I want that to be a little shorter because I don't want, this will be, there'll be a hole in it and it's too close. So I'm going to cut some of this off. Yeah, that's better. Okay, now, I still need this. I'm going to take a little strip of paper, a little piece of paper. Just looking at my scraps here. That one's cute. And I'm going to cut this about 1.5 inches, no, 2 inches. Let's cut it at 2.5 just to make sure, and if it's too long we can cut it shorter. And I want it to be about 3/4 of an inch wide, and that's for this size of tag. That one is actually about 1 inch, so let's do that, 1 inch wide. So I have this little piece of paper that's 1 by 2.5. I'm going to fold it in half. Just going to put it on here to see if it's the size I like. That's a good size. I don't think it needs to be shorter than that. So I have that. Now I'm going to take my little paper corner rounder and just round each corner. And put that on there. And I'm going to punch it. Punch a hole. And I will glue this on. Oops, I want the 4 on this side because 4 is right side up. Now, it's just open and loose. With a regular matchbook, when I made the matchbook booklets, I put a staple at the top to hold it down. But I don't want to do that with this, so I'm going to just put a tie through the hole, and that will hold it in place. So I'm going to use a piece of sari silk. You can use whatever you want. Since this paper isn't double-sided, you wouldn't have to glue some paper to the inside of it. It's already ready to be written on. And there you go. Let's do another one. I have all of these that I'm going to make. So after I turn the camera on, I'm going to finish my vellum window cards, and I'll finish these. This one is 3 inches. This one I'm just going to eyeball so you can see. You can do it without all the measuring. That's straight. Just going to fold it up and then fold this down. I always end up having too much here. So cut a little bit off. Not too much, because you don't want it to just pop out. I need a little scrap. That would be pretty. Let's do that. So that was 3/4 of an inch. No, it was 1 inch. This tag, I believe, is a little narrower than what we just did, so I might want to cut things a little smaller. Let's check it out first. Yes, I'm going to cut it a little narrower and a little shorter. Well, I don't need to do that. I'll just do this. I think there isn't enough overlap there because I trimmed that off and I think I trimmed too much. So I'm just going to fold that down a tiny bit more. It's probably right where it was before I trimmed that part off. And I'm going to trim the corners. This is a thinner paper, so I can do it while it's folded. Do a double layer. And glue it. No, I'm going to punch a hole and then glue it. So if I put the hole up a little higher, there'd be more room for getting this in and out, but I want to make sure it's going to hold it. So you have to make sure you're not punching it so low that you can't pull this out, or that you're going to catch that in it. You know what I mean? Sorry, I don't have exact measurements. Okay, now let's try a little bit of seam binding in this one. Oh, I didn't make a tag shape. Let's do that first. Forgot about that. I leave this folded up in there when I cut the tag shape, in case this is up high enough and that needs to be angled the same as the card. So that's why I leave that folded up when I cut the tag. There. And then, of course, you can decorate these. I'll probably leave them as they are until I'm ready to use them in a journal, and then I can embellish them any way I want to, but it would be fun to put some vintage postage stamps or labels or any other little pieces of ephemera that you have, little die cuts and things. To put something in that one too. Let's go with the orange. I don't get to use orange very often. So that's 4 of them done. And one, two, 3 of these, because this one was, I had done this months ago. So that's pretty good. And I'm going to turn the camera off and I'm going to finish up the ones that I already have cut. And hopefully I'll have time to get to work on the next, on this journal, because I want to get this one finished this week. Thanks for watching. I hope that you had fun and learned something new that you can do with your paper scraps. Cardstock scraps, coffee dyed paper scraps, and vellum scraps. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.